chronic. Don't even worry about it.
conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermain Botsio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation Double Barrel J Wednesdays with the one, the only mind of Jamal. How are you doing here, brother?
Man, I'm living po tonight, Jermain. Well, everybody know AT&T, my service is out. And so since my service is out, y'all, we got to go back to the old days when I had two phones and my microphone here and a microphone there. So I was able to still kick it because you know what? The world is on fire. And we got to make sure we tell about it, talk about it, and some other things that's going on in the world that we got to talk about. So, Jermaine, I'm here. I may not have my old fancy stuff, but I'm here.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I'm glad you're here. You know, the world is burning, ladies and gentlemen. It is on fire. Let me tell you. And the dummies on the left, they say that there's nothing going on. They're literally saying there's nothing going on. You know, crazy looking Maxine Waters. You know, she's
James
saying
Brown.
It's like a walk in the park. There's nothing to worry about. I can tell you she's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys do us a favor, a small favor, a tiny favor. Yeah. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. We gonna need your help, especially tonight. You guys absolutely know it is crazy out in the world. Besides the censorship, they're trying to get a narrative going on the LA riots. Yeah, they're trying to get the narrative going. And the narrative is there's nothing to see here. And Trump is coming for black and brown folks. Yeah. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's what's going on. So we're going to need your help. We want to calm down some folks that are out there and shed some light on some riffraff, if you know what I mean. Absolutely. We got a lot of folks on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. I want to say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Absolutely. You know, shout out to Kella, Bella, 823, Pizza Sticks, Avec Romic, Spillman, Shane, 0316, PNB, 97220, Sin Napier. Jesus is the answer, 50. Absolutely.
Stacy Shane.
Antron Horn, Living My Best, 78, and everybody else. Yeah, there's a lot more folks, but if I was to sit here and do this all day, you know, we ain't going to get to the big stories tonight. So we going to get rocking. Absolutely. Brother, let me tell you something before we begin. You know, it's hot here in Minnesota. I've been running back and forth from the country here in Lamberton to Minneapolis. My mom is sick. She's been in the
Sorry to hear,
hospital.
Jermain.
Yeah. Yup. Her cancer came back, so I've been running back and forth, running ragged, let me tell you. Running absolutely ragged, you know. But besides running ragged, let me tell you, the world is crazy. And I'm ready to begin. What about yourself?
I'm ready to
Absolutely.
Jermain, we gonna cook tonight because I'm about to have some fun. I don't have to be looking at the camera. This way, I get to be free roaming and have some fun, y'all.
Absolutely.
So we gonna have some fun.
Yeah, you have some fun, and I'll take care of the ones and twos over here. You get what I'm saying, brother? You just live your best life. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what the young folks are saying, right?
Running rebels, Rumble rebels. Y'all, please behave. Amtrak home. You better not drive nobody crazy talking about Washington. And of course, Rapper 10,000. Don't make people hate you. Love y'all.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get rocking. Let's get ready to play. First one up. As you guys know, we love speaking about family. We love speaking about social issues here on this show, right? This is something that happens to turn a lot of folks onto our side, speaking about social issues. And we need to get abreast about these social issues that are going on. We can't have the liberal left control the narrative on these issues. That's why we speak about it, so that we can effectively target policy that will change our world. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest social issue, I would say, in the last probably 10 years or even more is the baby mama epidemic, because everybody and their mama's mama got a baby mama. Let me tell you. Everybody and their mama's mama got a baby mama. And it's ruining our society. Not just having a baby mama. I'm talking about broken families. Because a lot of times, broken families, ladies and gentlemen, create broken people and broken children. And what we're trying to do is make sure that people understand what they're doing and how it can affect people around them and not just themselves, right? Oh, yeah, critical thinking. The video I'm going to play to you guys tonight is a viral video. And let me tell you something. Everybody and their mama is sharing this. And it deals with, ladies and gentlemen, baby mama. Yeah. And it deals with a young man asking his mom, listen, I want to be a part of my dad's life. Will ya? And let me tell you something. It was a lot, she said, that made a lot of people shake their head, and I want you guys to see it. So make sure you guys do your due diligence. Please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Here we go. Son wants to see his daddy. Here we go.
My mama want to disown me because I want a relationship with my father.
Not today.
That's my father. Mama, you tripping.
I don't care. You don't know what that man did to me.
Mama, what he did to you, that was 20 years ago.
Me, everything. I'm
Mama,
so sick of him.
he's still my father.
You don't need no relationship with him.
Why I can't have a relationship with my father? Every
Because of how
child
he
needs
did
a
me.
father.
Do you love me?
Of course I love. Why I'm still here, right?
So then, if I don't like him, you don't like him.
That's not the way it works, Mama.
That's our bond.
That's not the world. That's not how it
Yeah.
goes. That's still my father. And I
No.
want to have my father in my life.
No, we don't need you in your life. I help you. I'm in your life.
And thank you so much. But at the same time, I want a relationship with my
No,
father.
I'm here. I'm the mother and the father. I do everything.
That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
You're a
You don't
woman.
need
I
that
need
man.
my father. He's a male. He's a man. Teach me things you can't teach me. No, he's still my daddy. You tripping. You tripping.
You know, at this point,
Come
I'm
on.
tripping.
Come on. He's my daddy.
Really?
Mama, you tripping.
Well, if you want a relationship with your daddy, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Bow. Did you hear that? If you want a relationship with your daddy, I don't want nothing to do with ya. Brother, let me tell you something. This situation happens way too often nowadays.
Way too often.
Way too often. You know, this baby mama stuff, children growing up in broken homes. A lot of the time, children are left to believe that their father don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yep.
Relationship breakdown early before the child can be aware enough to know what's going on. Child is usually left alone with the woman because of our society and the way our society is functioning right now. And usually, the woman, when you break up with her, she becomes very emotional, a lot of times vindictive, angry.
Yes.
She will go ahead and poison your child. Say, hey, your father left us. Instead of saying, hey, you know, me and your father
Didn't work
had
out.
some disagreements and he left me. He couldn't handle me. But he still loves you. What do you say to this situation here?
Jermain, broken homes make broken children. Broken
Absolutely.
children end up in communities which make broken communities. They all go hand in hand. When you deal with this video, you see what a lot of black men have said for so many years. That, hey, we left because we couldn't deal with what was going on in home.
Absolutely.
It's not worth it. I'm going to go to jail if I stay. Too many black men have said, if I stay, I'm going to jail. And so looking at this woman saying, looking at this woman telling her son, if you have a relationship with your father, your daddy, I'm going to disown you. I'm going to hate you. What has she told that child when he was a child? Because if she's that vindictive and evil at that age, after 18 years, you can bet what she was saying.
Yep.
And if he's trying to have a relationship, she took that child away from their dad. Now, that's one thing politicians, Republicans, need to start addressing is men's rights.
Yep.
And making sure we put people in positions of power and judges and things like that, so men can have relationships with their children, because we're being denied because of women like this.
Absolutely. And it happens way too often. You know, there's so many men that I speak to who want to be a part of their child's life, but they're not able to. Or it's gosh darn so hard to be in their children's lives. The woman usually has them doing, going through all sorts of hoops to be in the children's lives. And it is absolutely crazy. You know, there has to be some sort of men's rights right now in this day and age. It has to be. And the more this comes up, the more I believe men will start to complain and things will change. You can see things right now with Trump. He has been making inroads, especially when it comes to dependence and the entitlement issue. You know, he's dropped it from 18 to 7. So even when it comes to sitting on the government dole and trying to collect, that type of jazz just to have children, and that incentive is no longer there. So in my personal opinion, I believe that a lot of these situations can be curved if a lot of people got the right information, and also education. Education is a big deal when it comes to it. You know, if guys understand that, hey, you know, you have a baby mama, this most likely will happen. You know, you just can't get around it. You know, this can happen to you if you're committed in a marriage as well. But it doesn't happen too often. It happens more when you have children out of wedlock. And I want the guys to understand that. Guys have to understand, if you have a child out of wedlock, because of the courts, because of beta men and the feminists, they have made it so that the child is, quote unquote, the woman's. And I want the men to understand that. It's not yours. You literally have to go to court so that you can get rights to the child. So men have to understand to stop making babies, stop making baby mamas, stop having children out of wedlock. And that's, in my personal opinion, the best way to curb a lot of this situation. Last words on this here, sir.
One, men do have to practice penis control.
Yep.
I ain't going to say the other word, but men have to practice penis control. Stop trying to stick it in everything that look good. And if you're going to do it, wear a condom.
Yep.
Because everything can't have a child. Every woman isn't mature enough to have a child.
Absolutely.
Because it takes two to tango. And being that it takes two to tango, Jermain, a lot of these women don't want to accept the responsibility that they got pregnant. They chose the sorry man.
They did.
Okay? So that's number one. Number two, it keeps exposing, and more men need to speak up and say, hey, Republicans, you need to do more for men. Not just white men, not just black men, not just Hispanic men, but all men. Don't try addressing in a voting block. Address it as the thing. It is a situation that more men need rights to see their children, and we're being denied.
Jamal, if that was a platform for the Republicans, they will win. They will win. All they got to do is bring up the baby mama drama.
Yes.
They bring that up, the guys are voting for your hand over foot. The only guys who ain't going to vote are the guys who got the long hair and the hair hats. You know what I'm talking about, right? The transitional men. Them guys ain't gonna do it. But gosh darn it, if you're a
Transformers?
man, it benefits you to have rights to your child. If she want to
Yes,
go
it
run
do.
and kill it, she can't do it without your consent. You know, things of that nature. Men need it. It's time. They need to understand that, and you can see it now in the world. These young guys, they're understanding this right now, that, hey, it ain't fair that, you know, women get, you know, full control over the child. You know, it's just bizarre to me that the guys back in the day didn't see that this was a problem. You know, and now it's just out of control. So let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Make sure you do share. Make sure you share. All right. Next one up. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about a viral video that was put out by a streamer. Let me see. Forgot his name here, and it has this guy named Charleston White. All right.
Oh yes.
He is a comedian. He is I would say a common sense black activist. And he was on this podcast here, and he was speaking about black Americans and how you know, black Americans did a lot better when they were enslaved, and since they've been free, gosh darn it, they ain't been doing nothing but killing each other. I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to get you guys' take on it. I have a lot to say with this clip. You know, I have a lot to say. Make sure you guys help us out. Here we go.
Taking smiling pictures. We worse than them.
So if God came down today and asked you, Charleston, what should I do? What would you tell him?
Enslave black people again. Put them back in chains. Hit the reset button so it can produce a greater group of people. So it can produce a greater group of people like the slaves did.
Yep,
How the slave gonna
Perspective
end-
is the
how?
podcast.
Didn't you see what slavery produced, nigga? It was great people
Okay.
when they come out of slavery.
What you mean?
They were great people.
Like what?
They built Black Wall Street. They was loving. Their families was intact. They had skills. They wasn't
He
violent.
makes a good
They
point.
didn't harm people. They didn't hurt people. Them people just wanted to be left alone and enjoy freedom. This group here hurt people. Wake up to hurt people. Look to hurt people. This group needs to be put in chains and separated from house nigga and field nigga again.
Yep,
Man, nah, man.
absolutely.
Hold up, break it down one
You
more
heard her
time.
saying she, and I said with no smile.
Break it down one more time.
This group needs to be separated again as house niggas and field niggas. Most you field niggas is
How
gonna
about
say no
American
snitching. Most of us
blacks
house niggas is gonna say
and
yeah
dumb
snitching.
niggas?
You run away
Yeah,
off
I
the
like
plantation,
that.
they go whoop all of us. You think I ain't fit to go tell boss y'all talking about running away? They might sell your mama. I like your mama. I got a crush on your mama. They go beat all of us. And y'all talking about running away with that freedom talk.
You can't think of nothing else but
No,
that.
nothing else. Nothing. I can't think of nothing else that improve the conditions of black people
Absolutely.
today other than chains and slavery.
How long?
400 years.
Yeah,
the last
shoot,
slavery.
1,000.
We produced the exact same thing. Man, them was some great people. Our great grandmothers,
Yes,
great grandfathers
it is,
that had
400.
land, knew how to work the land. Didn't give a damn. They wore coveralls and tore
You
down.
hit a nigga stone, man.
Yeah, man. What you say?
Man, you got these folk brainwashed in here, Charles.
How, my
They
nigga?
said you right.
Man, they ain't never heard this before, so how I brainwashed them?
Yeah,
this is
he
the
right.
first time ever heard me say this, so how they brainwash?
Say it one more time.
I ain't saying the slavery shit, right? I'm just saying, well, he's talking about the reset kind of right. Though.
The reset is right, but in the chains?
In chain, whips and niggas need whips.
Niggas need to be
lashes on their
whipped.
backs and their ass again.
Shit.
You fucked up, bro.
Niggas need new names.
Kunta.
Master Williams, boy. Ain't you Master Williams slave? You need new names.
Who gonna be the slave owner?
White folks, they done it the best. Who more better than the enslaved niggas than white people?
Shoot, that's
Man, they
what I'm
got a
saying.
method that's proven to work on us.
Shoot, I'll be a slave master, brother. Man, oh man, that was fire. That was fire. Let me tell you. He's speaking about the condition of black folks. He's saying, black folks today, they wild. They like wild animals. They wild. And he's saying the best way to tame Negroes nowadays is to throw them back in the chains. You get what I'm saying? He's saying for 400 years. I said for 1,000, but he said for 400 years. You get what I'm saying? He said niggas need to be whipped. And he's saying that, back then, families were together. They were intact. Blacks, actually thought. They thought and thought good things. They built Black Wall Street. Gosh darn it, everything was good. And as soon as black folks got their freedom, it seemed like, the IQ dropped lower than the pants that they sag today. What do you think, brother?
A lot of people feel the black community has been on this roller coaster of victimization and no responsibility. We think we act like we want, we talk like we want, we do what we want, and people are like, they're sick of us. I'm gonna tell you something. Black folk is sick of black folk.
Absolutely.
We're gonna tell the truth. Black folk is sick of black folk. Why? Because we can't have nothing unless he'll come around the niggas and he comes shut and tear it down. What he's simply saying is that, at the time when they had slavery, there were freed blacks and there was enslaved. There was two.
Yep.
And what he's saying is some of y'all need to be put back in slavery because you need some control. Because you have absolutely no self-control. And if you don't have no self-control, you are no better than an animal. And so if you want to act like an animal, chain you up like one.
Yep. Absolutely. What he said was quite profound in a sense. I heard this type of rhetoric before. There's an old man by the name of Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh,
yeah, Jesse Lee has brought that up before as well. They calling him the number one nigga hater is Jesse Lee Peterson.
I don't know about that one. My man who a preacher, what's his name? God, he's a preacher. He hate him too.
Boy, I think I know which one you're talking about. There's one called the Cussing Pastor. Have you heard of Cussing Pastor?
The guy name is Manny.
But I'm going to have to send you some stuff on him.
That nigga's crazy. You niggas is crazy. Niggerism. That's what it is. Niggerism. I got that video, Jermain. I could have played that video tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
That video would have been good to play tonight.
I'm telling you. The thing is here, there's a group of folks, and I want Americans to understand the reason why we speak about Negroes, niggas, you know what I'm saying, and blacks is because it's quite apparent, Yeah, we have to talk about it, especially when we speak about the black community. Yeah, you just have to. You can't get around it. White liberals, they don't want to speak about it. They like to lump all blacks together. They like to lump the niggas along with the good black folks. You get what I'm saying? And believe that we're all the same. We're not. The good black folks think differently than what we call the niggas. The niggas. Let me tell you, they do. They just do. They don't have that mindset, that FM mindset that most niggas have. You get what I'm saying?
Nope.
Yeah, they just don't have that. You know, they're decent folks, people who want to have a family. They want to be productive citizens. And then we got the other folks. You get what I'm saying? And those folks have a certain culture. And I want white folks to understand that. Their culture is a very bad culture. It's ran by folks with low IQ. I want you to understand that. Low IQ. And that's the folks that liberals love. Liberals love niggas because they can put them on a pedestal, in a sense, and come up with legislation that helps them out as Democrats. You get what I'm saying? I want folks to understand that. You're not going to get that type of rhetoric anywhere else. Liberals, white liberals, love niggas. They don't like the black American. All right? The black person. They love niggas. The black person doesn't act like the nigga. The black person actually acts more like a Republican. You better believe it. What do you think back in the day, black Americans were what? What were they prevailing? Republicans.
Social conservative.
Absolutely. Conservative. They were family oriented. Everything that conservatives and Republicans are for, that's what they were. I want people to understand that. So that's why the white liberal hates the black person and loves niggas. They love niggas because the nigga is dumb. The nigga is easily controlled by their emotions. Just like their mama, easily controlled. So you can go say, hey, those people don't like you because you're black. And they'll believe it. And they'll go along with it. They won't think clearly. I want folks to understand that. The nigga is quick to fight. All right? I'm telling you, I could go on and on, but I'm giving you guys examples of the reason why white liberals love niggas and they hate blacks. So, brother, any last words on this here before we move on?
Everybody knows the ignorant blacks are the best voting bloc for the Democrat Party. They're ignorant. They have no desire to leave the current situation. And the one thing about them, they are annoying. If you notice who's sometimes the most annoyingest people to deal with if you have a disagreement, they are dispatched as white liberals, white Democrats, foot soldiers. They're stormtroopers.
Yep.
When they need somebody to go on the internet or go whatever and call it racist and dismiss it as just racist, they send in the niggas.
Yep, the niggas.
And when you send them in, all they're going to say is just like racism. Look what they doing in California. There's brown and black people. Donald Trump is going to send us back to Africa. Donald Trump is going to deport all black people too.
Yep.
Where you going to deport us to? I thought y'all wanted to go back to Africa. I thought it was peace, brother, back to the motherland. Oh, so now you niggas don't want to go back to Africa, huh? Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if Donald, you know what I'm saying, as much as y'all talk, I y'all want to go back to Africa.
You would think. You would absolutely think, let me tell you. You know, and that's what the deal is. So I want Republicans to understand the reasons why they are for a certain group of black folks. Niggas are into free stuff too, you know. So if you're talking about entitlement, you know,
that's up a nigga alley.
Yeah, that's right up a nigga's alley. You know, shit.
Free?
I ain't gotta pay and work for nothing. You mean to tell me you gonna give me free stuff? Yeah, I could lay down just like my mama. But that's what it is. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Oh, hold on. Share. My bad. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead here and show you guys this viral story. It's something that we've been speaking about on this program for a while, and I think that I don't know if it's a phase that is going on here in America or if it's a new culture in a sense. This culture, I would say, yeah, let's just call it this culture of teachers sleeping with students. It seems to be something that is going on everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. And from what I've seen, it seems to be white Caucasian women sleeping with the students. You know, I don't know what's going on, but the white women are screwing the students. I want to go ahead and run this clip when I come back. I want to speak about this here. Ladies and gentlemen out there, have you guys noticed that? You know, there seems to be a swath of folks out there, mostly females, white females. A lot of them are married. And they're screwing young boys. You know, what the heck is going on? Let's go ahead and run it. When it comes back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Here we go.
There's no excuse for what I did, and I will not try to offer one. I crossed a boundary that never should have been crossed, and I violated the trust of someone who needed to be protected and respected. I live every day with the heavy burden of knowing that I caused that harm.
The teen eventually told his parents. Police were notified Nutley was arrested. She lost her job, license, and marriage. But the victim's family said today their son's junior and senior years of high school were ruined. His confidence was destroyed, as was his desire to play sports in college.
In this situation, I believe that the proper sentence is 3 years in prison on count 1, 3 years on count 5 to be served at the same time, for an aggregate sentence of 3 years in prison.
And Emily Nutley seemed a bit surprised by that sentence. She was immediately placed in handcuffs and escorted out of the courtroom. In April, she pleaded guilty to 2 counts of sexual battery. She admitted while she was the director of academic services at St. X High School, she had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student. Prosecutors say she was the aggressor all along, sent him nude photos, paid for his pickleball membership, gave him her Netflix password, and $100 a month allowance.
I really did not want to have sex with her, but she insisted. She would not leave me alone.
Dang,
she told me she would kill herself when I tried to end it. I didn't know how to get out of the situation.
Holy moly.
I finally decided that I didn't want her to do this to anyone else. I told the truth.
Yeah, high school.
What?
Yeah, Miss Nutley. The kids were going nuts for Miss Nutley. Let me say, brother, what do you think about what the heck is going on?
What's wrong with the students?
Yeah, I'm telling you, she was sitting there and she was badgering the guys for their schlong and stuff like that. Yeah, she was badgering. She was like, "Come and bend me over." I'm telling you. What do you think here, brother? What do you think?
You notice nobody try to do that with black kids, so they already know to take them to. They try with black kids, they're gonna try to take you to the neighborhood and rob you.
Oh, you know it.
Man, Jermain, I don't know what's got in the water, but these teachers now today Well, it comes from, and all jokes aside, Jermaine, back in the days when we was growing up, teachers won't sexualize. It want a sexualized culture. Yeah. Everything now is sexualized, and they tell the girls, they tell the young ladies that, oh, you are just the same as a boy. Do the same thing a man would do. Go search it out. No, you don't. You're supposed to be better. Women were held to higher standards because they was protected more than men. Men were expected to be a little roguish, but women were always supposed to be innocent and protected as innocent. Yep. So when you sit here and you look at stuff like this, number one, that lets you know, husbands, do your work at home.
Yeah,
don't be a bit. Something. This just ain't start happening. What in the world has been going on? Like you said before we got online. What in the world are you doing? What are you doing? Why is this coming a culture? 2, young black folk. Why ain't nobody like, I don't deal with them niggas. Ain't dealing with them niggas. Dang, well, what make us so daggone? Nobody wanted to deal with us. But it just goes, it really goes down to, Jermaine, what over-sexualizing students, over-sexualizing teachers, and relationships aren't being told the truth. Start telling your husband your fantasy. Yep. Tell your wife your fantasy. And if your wife getting too fat, tell her. Yep. If your husband getting moves with your man boobs, tell him. Let your husband, if you're married, or your wife be a fantasy. And if you're going to have someone else on the side, don't pick a child or mess a child life up. I'm
telling y'all.
Let that child have his youth. Don't you cougar in and destroy that child's youth.
Yep. Absolutely. Cougar in and get yourself pregnant, and then pretty soon you put the young boy on child support. Some women are evil like that, let me tell you. Brother, you're absolutely correct. I've been, watching this situation for a while, for several years now. And, sparingly here and there you'll catch a teacher with a different ethnicity, hardly ever. But mostly, I would say a good 97% is going to be a white Caucasian woman. And she's sitting there having sex with 2, 3 students, this, that, and the third. There's something going on, and
yes.
I don't know. The guys, they're going to have to start thinking, looking at themselves and saying, what's going on with y'all? Why is your wife running and getting a young guy? What's going on?
And why children? Why aren't they going to men their age or men?
That's what I'm saying.
Period.
Why aren't they going to men their age? And the one thing I'm thinking about is one of it is control, and another thing too is that the older guys. You guys been beta-eyes, and I say this all the time. When I was, a young Thundercat, it was easy for guys like me to get a female. It was just easy because we're honest. We didn't care about what women thought about us. We just didn't care. The guys nowadays, you guys are so beta-eyed. You're doing everything that a female says. And let me tell you something. You do everything a female says it, and she conquers you. She thinks of you as being boring. You get what I'm saying?
No interest.
There's something that has been lost. You get what I'm saying? Being a man has been lost in these generations now. You get what I'm saying? A lot of guys have growing up with their mama. You get what I'm saying? So they have a different way of looking at relationships and the way of treating women. You get what I'm saying? It is totally different. It's totally different. You know, so I believe a lot of it comes down to the guys. A lot of the older guys, especially the guys who've been beat down, you know, for a while, they've been betaized. You know, you just can't get around it. You know, it has to change. It has to change. I think
yes, it do.
The guys got to look at it, and then also you also have to look at the you know, the culture and how these women are going after these guys. What is it? What's the driving force? And I believe one of the driving forces there is control. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these women, they have a alpha type of mentality, you know, and it's almost like a hunter type mentality, and that's what they're doing. They're hunting these young guys. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right. We want to reach some beta guys out there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, they're gonna have to do some sports in the bedroom. You know, you get what I'm saying? To keep someone, some of them folks there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, guys, you gotta treat it like a sport. You know, get up in there. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up here, I want to go ahead here and speak to you guys about the L.A. riots, the protests over the immigration. You know, the immigration arrests. Let me tell you something. It is crazy there. California is on fire. It's on fire right now. Everybody and their mama talking about California. You know, I see this dying down, but there's some folks out there who want to prolong this, and they want it to be bigger than what it is right now. I want to go ahead and run this clip here when it come back. I want to speak to you guys about it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. We need your help. Here we go.
You are watching the KTLA 5 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Micah Ullman along with Sheriff Cavan as we continue our coverage of Day 5 of protests, ICE raids in downtown Los Angeles. The top line over the last hour or so has been a large number of protesters making their way for a brief time onto the 101 freeway. We know all southbound lanes were closed for a time. They briefly made their way onto the 101 northbound, at which point we saw a large contingent of CHP officers moving in with the help of LAPD, surrounding those people that were on the freeway and rather quickly getting them off the northbound lanes and eventually out of the southbound lanes, allowing traffic to flow freely once again. And this may well be the fallout from that for this large group of people as they are being placed into handcuffs
so right
and
now,
placed under arrest and taken away from the scene here as we see this large group of people, many of them on the freeway not 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it caused quite a mess for traffic in downtown LA, and also, you know, for a lot of motorists that were trying to make their way through the 101 freeway. Again, the LAPD on tactical alert. Arrests have been made in downtown LA. And we do have team coverage. We want to start with Chris Wolf. Chris Wolf is at Grand Park right now, where an interfaith an interfaith service is about to take place at around 6 o'clock. Chris.
Wow, and I'm going to stop it right here. So, brother, you can see LA is crazy right now. The officers there are lining up protesters, throwing them in jail. It's just crazy to me that we're in this predicament, and it's being exacerbated by what they're calling, from what I've been reading, paid insurrectionists. This is what they've been pushing out. I want to go ahead also and run this other video here, and I want to get your take on it. All right.
Okay.
Protesters, they're jumping on ICE vehicles, destroying them. It's just crazy to me that a lot of these officers are also allowing these people to do some of this stuff here. They're just sitting back and watching, and I don't know if this is because, they're on standby. I watched the video yesterday that was quite crazy. Officers sat there while the people were destroying public property.
Oh my God! Fucking nigga!
See, they're jumping on the ICE truck. So ICE, they're getting, Jamal, the ICE folks are getting harassed everywhere they go right now. I believe a lot of these folks, they just need to be arrested. They're doing the most. They're trying to hurt the officers. They can't even do their jobs effectively. What do you say to this here? What are your thoughts on the riot here? I'm gonna let this run here, and you could just, speak in the background here, brother.
Long time ago, I said this is a time to use lethal force. If lethal force is required, you are throwing center blocks, which can kill someone, at police officers, and it seems to be no consequences, because what's going to happen? You have to wait. You have to wait for the district attorney to do it in their county. And the last time they had problems like this, what did the district attorney do? He let them go.
Yep.
They press charges, and this is one of the things they said. You press charges, but then you let them go.
You let them go.
You drop them. And that's why President Trump, he has the federal agents and stuff down there, because if you touch one, that's out of your local jurisdiction's hand. That's number one. Number two, Newsom should have been locked up as soon as he opened up his mouth, because this is really Newsom's and these politicians' fault. They have convinced a certain segment of the population, because of their ethnicity, that they don't have to follow a law. The law don't apply to them. And this actually in Los Angeles is horrible. It is horrible in Los Angeles. Los Angeles has, they say in every household there's an illegal immigrant somewhere. It's over 400,000 illegal immigrants in Los Angeles alone. And you mean to tell me these people aren't being targeted and these people aren't being got? They should be picked up and put away.
They need to be. They need to be picked up and thrown away. I'm showing a video of people throwing rocks at the cop vehicles. The cop cars and trucks, they're being thrown rocks at, and the people are throwing the rocks from the bridge. You can seriously kill somebody by doing that.
Yes.
And these people don't understand. That's like attempted murder in a sense. You get what I'm saying? That is crazy to me. And we have so many folks who believe that this is warranted. You get what I'm saying? It just blows my mind. We have too many folks who are into destruction right now. And it's
because there's no consequences.
Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say. There's really no consequences for what's going on here. I don't want to hear nothing about January 6th. I really don't.
No.
All these folks talking about January 6th and insurrection and all sorts of dumb stuff. I mean, look at this. This is nuts. To the point where we have to send in the Marines? Literally. We have to send in the Marines, ladies and gentlemen, to deal with this. You know, I want you guys to hear what Gavin Newsom is saying about Trump. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak to you guys more about this. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys share. Here we go.
Right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people, a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown. In other actions, a U.S. citizen, 9 months pregnant, was arrested. A 4-year-old girl taken, families separated, friends quite literally disappearing. In response, everyday Angelenos came out to exercise their constitutional right to free speech and assembly, to protest their government's actions. In turn, the state of California and the city and county of Los Angeles sent our police officers to help keep the peace. And with some exceptions, they were successful. Like many states, California is no stranger to this sort of unrest. We manage it regularly and with our own law enforcement. But this, again, was different. What then ensued was the use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets, federal agents detaining people and undermining their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. That's when the downward spiral began. He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. And the president, he did it on purpose. As the news spread throughout LA, anxiety for family and friends ramped up. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. Many of you have seen the video clips of cars burning on cable news. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. Full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few
Can't believe this man said the situation was winding down.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force.
He chose escalation.
He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000
Trump chose escalation.
He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines.
He couldn't even control his state.
These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. We honor their service. We honor their bravery. But we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces. Not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation.
Oh, yeah, right.
Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles.
What about
well
the burning businesses?
Stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals.
Illegal immigrants should be scared.
Gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses.
Yeah, they need to be scared. They came here illegally. This is crazy.
Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point.
They need to arrest this man
of our people, all
for insurrection, including and stop messing around with it and get this done. Arrest him.
Challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion
the people
or
who
skin
being
color,
snatched
then
are
none of us
illegal
are safe.
immigrants.
Authoritarian
Stop
regimes
it.
begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. And by the way, Trump, he's not opposed to lawlessness and violence as long as it serves him. What more evidence do we need than January 6th?
Oh,
Ask
wow.
everyone. Take time, reflect on this perilous moment. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution, perpetuating a unified assault on American traditions. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's declared a war on culture, on history, on science, on knowledge itself. Databases, quite literally, are vanishing.
Boy,
He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, at threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society. He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected.
Yeah,
and we all know this
you need to be arrested.
He's ordering our American heroes
for
the United States military and
treason
to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past. Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes.
And I want to stop it right there. So Gavin Newsom, he goes on and on and on, attacking Trump. He's saying democracy is under attack. This is what he's saying, Jamal. Democracy is under attack. And it seems like him and a lot of these left-wing politicians, they have chosen their side.
And the media.
Yep, and the media as well. They have chosen their side. And you can see it's quite apparent they are riding for the illegal immigrants. This is their social movement. This is their quote-unquote revolution. Mark Lamont said that. What do you think about this here, brother?
Gavin Newsom should be arrested for inciting a riot. Donald Trump should squash the riot and let it be known. And people need to stop saying violent protests. There's no such thing as a violent protest. It's either protest or riot.
Yeah, it's a riot.
A riot by the Constitution protest by the constitutional standards is Congress shall make no laws in establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise of or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for readiness and grievances. If it's not peaceful, it's not constitutional.
Yep.
If it's not constitutional, soon as you start throwing rocks and things like that,
you got to be arrested.
You have a right to not only have be arrested, you need to be shot. You throw something at our officers, they need to throw something back, a 5.56, a 7.62, or possibly some smoky flames. This is wrong. Gavin Newsom is purposely inflaming this.
He is.
I love Donald Trump. But either Donald Trump is going to squash it and get it a handle, or we going down the tube.
Yep. He has to be able to, bring order. Gavin Newsom and those folks there, they will thrive on the chaos. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Thriving off the chaos, because if there's chaos, ladies and gentlemen, they can use that as a way to campaign. Okay? Yeah, a way to campaign. And it's a way for them to also get more money as well. I want folks to understand, ask for more money out of the states, for them to be, doing money laundering during this. A lot of chaos like this, money laundering come from it as well. I want folks to understand. So that's why a lot of this got to get shut down. They don't want Donald Trump to shut it down as well, for him to be looked at as him being a savior. You get what I'm saying? They don't want that at all. If anything comes out of this, ladies and gentlemen, they want division. That's what they want out of this here. And it's quite apparent. I want you guys to take a look at this video that has gone viral, that has sparked outrage. Oh, yeah, sparked outrage in a lot of folks. This white liberal, you just can't make this stuff up. He has a message for Black Americans, and I want you guys to hear this. Here we go.
To my black brothers and sisters out there that are the ones that are posting all this, oh, we just gonna mind our business. And I saw somebody earlier making T-shirts of like a group of like 6 black people, black men and women, sitting on a bench texting on phones while the country is burning up behind them. Let me explain something to you guys. Let me explain something to you. When they get done with the brown people, they'll be coming after you. And if you don't think that's true, you got another motherfucking thing coming. This is bigger than you, okay? Because let me explain another thing to you. You sit back and watch millions of brown people be kidnapped and removed from this country. When they do come after you, there's going to be nobody left to stand up for you. And when they're coming after you, how are you going to feel when people are sitting on the sideline like, oh, we just going to mind our business? Fuck all this other dumb shit. Man, no. It's not the time for that. Power to the people. It's time to come together.
Yeah, soul brother number 1.
To the people, it's time to come together. J9000 says, how many liquor stores, Targets, and Walmarts and Walgreens got broken into by the fake protesters in the past 2 days? They're using this as an excuse to steal and vandalize properties. You're absolutely correct. J9000 donated. Shout out to you on Rumble. Let's go ahead and give you the customaries here, sir. Absolutely.
I told y'all it's gonna be some fun going on.
Absolutely. Brother, I'm telling you, what do you think about that? So this white guy here is saying that black folks, they need he's been seeing them sharing a meme of some black people sitting down drinking coffee as in the background as America burns. And what he's saying is that there's a lot of black people who aren't standing up for the immigrants. This is what he's saying, for the illegal aliens. And he's saying that Trump and his racist administration is going after brown people, and black people will be next. What do you think about that?
White liberals want to get their grubby paws into the Latino community and turn the Latino community into the black community. Do you know they want the Latino community to vote 80% Democrat. If they can get them to do that, they win elections.
Yep.
But when Latino men turned their back on the Democrat Party, they use this as a wedge. Now, let me say this, and this has to be said. If the only reason why you're voting for a party or voting some way because you want your race to get something, you need to stay where you at.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, these they talk about somewhere Latino men feel betrayed. Latino men. It ain't about Latino.
Nope.
Not about Latino. It's about America. And if Latinos are breaking a law, they need to go to jail or be deported. And when you see these people come up with this, like this white liberal, oh, you don't get them, then they ain't gonna get help. You don't help them, ain't nobody gonna help you. Yeah, I can show you in the last 3 days, Jermain, I've been making some videos about lethal force and stuff like that. Some of the racist comments Latinos have been making. And from what somebody told me, black people don't really mess with Mexicans like that in Texas or California. Black folk, they don't talking about some we together. Chick, you won't even date a black dude. If a black dude come up to you like, hey, mama say, how you doing? Me speaking no English. You know exactly what you're saying. Yep. So it's they trying to get black folk in it so they can use up our capital. Yep, when it comes to people, but they don't realize black folk capital is in the negative because people sick and tired of black folk. Yep. So if they sick and tired of the niggas, they just as tired of them too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Trying to use black people and their capital and their resource to move their agenda and ain't gonna work. Black folks done screwed up their capital already. You get what I'm saying? Their capital card declined. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why they stealing. Their capital card has declined. So that ain't gonna work. And for that white guy to be sitting there and saying that black folks need to support and come out and help, the Mexican folks and stuff like that. This guy here is absolutely outrageous. I believe he's trying to push some sort of race war with stuff speaking like that. You get what I'm saying? He that's a bad deal. It is. Black folks need to start thinking about themselves as being American. And that's something that the liberal left does not speak about. You get what I'm saying? They try to act as if black folks ain't American as well, and they should get mad and Trump racist or all that. No. If black folks think of themselves as American, there's no way that they would be, going along with these folks. There's just no way.
No.
At all. So it has to be said that these folks that are coming here, they are breaking the law and they need a return. But this is not being said on the news. They're acting as if, the folks have a right to be here in a sense. And they don't. I just don't understand that. They don't have a right to be here. There's plenty of folks who've been waiting for years to get in this country, and they haven't gone in. What about those folks? You never see the media speaking about those folks. They're only worried about the folks that they can use to push their agenda. That's it. Jamal, last words on this here, brother.
I'm going to say this, Jermain, and people have to understand. They're trying to rope black folk in it because they're trying to get people to say, oh my gosh, black people, we done lost our moral compass and as a black community. And we sitting here trying to demand somebody let some people in here that has no business in here. Do black people realize because they have came in here that took a lot of jobs from young black men, jobs that young black men would have been doing, which kept them out of prison. They came and they took. Yes. Do Latinos work hard? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. However, a lot of them work under the table. A lot of them cut under the table, which companies will hire them. You know what happened to the young black man who got out of prison because he sat there and sold some dope? Guess what happened? He's going back selling dope because he ain't got no job.
Can't get a job.
That's real, and it affects people. And illegal immigration is a harm to the black community because it have us fighting over resources that we're not entitled to.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Pookie that just got out of prison, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to better his life. A lot of those the low skill entry type jobs are overrun and taken by the illegal immigrants.
Yep.
So Pookie, he's not able to get into the job because they can pay Jorge, $2 or $3 less under the table, and versus paying Phuket insurance and everything else that comes along with having a legal job.
And Ray.
It's something that needs to be told, but yet the liberal left doesn't speak about it. The national media doesn't speak about it. And one thing else, the Republicans are not speaking about that as well. They need to be out there speaking about stuff like this, because when they're speaking about stuff like this, people in the populace, they can relate to what's going on when they're doing stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? They can say, hey, my brother just got out of jail, and he wants to work down at the concrete plant. But Jorge and them are at the concrete plant. You know what I'm saying? These are things that they can do to bring more folks over, rather than just sitting there and being quiet because you're scared of the backlash. You get what I'm saying, Jamal? The Republicans, in a sense, are scared of the backlash. And because of what's going on in L.A., they don't want to be seen as quote-unquote racist. Right? Oh, my God, they're saying Trump is a fascist and we're going to be called racist. That ain't going to do nothing. You have to be strong and come out with what's going on and bring these type of examples to the table. Because once you start doing that, people can relate to what you're saying and it will make sense rather than it just being emotional. And that's exactly what the liberals are hinging on. Like I've been saying for the past few years, the baby mama epidemic has brought into the world emotional children, emotional adults. Okay? They're not thinking logically. They didn't have a daddy at home. They had their mama. So what do you do when you're around a person a lot of the time? You start adopting their traits, especially if you've been living with your mama for years and you're a guy, right? Of course, you're going to hold out your hands like this, right? Look, you hold out your hand like that, right? And think there's nothing wrong with it. You're going to pick up, traits from your mama. You know what I'm saying? You are. And when we talk about these type of traits, we talk about mental traits, thinking like your mama. Yeah, so when things are being presented to you, instead of you to actually look at everything and critically think, you're going to think like a woman. You're going to think through emotion. And when you have a population that thinks through emotion, ladies and gentlemen, you can control them. Yeah, you can control them very easily. Very easily. And that's exactly what's going on. That's the main reason why it's so dangerous to have a community filled with single mamas and children. Men. Because that community can be controlled through emotional arguments.
Yep.
Last words on this here, sir.
Just real quick, everybody, listen. Usually I have my computer in front of me and I tell people, y'all like and share, like and share. Have you hit that like button? Have you hit that like button? Have you shared? I noticed Jermain only clapped one time. What people don't want to help to support the pages and support, don't worry about me. You worry about the page and help keeping the stuff, because at the end of the day, yes, money talk, BS walks. I ain't gonna say in front. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes, I got a good job. Well, you know what? Did you help? Did you like? Did you share? Did you like the page? Did you share the content? Please like, share, donate. Please. Jermain, my comment is this. Single mothers, and if you look at the black community, these white liberals need single mothers because it keeps them in power. Simple and plain. And without that, they are out of power.
Yep. Absolutely. Next one. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Now, AG Pam Bondi, you know, I have a little issue with Pam Bondi and Cash Patel. You know, these people were, you know, talking about the Epstein list and everything else. And then Cash Patel, he did like a double back. It's almost as if, you know, he wasn't talking about, you know, the Epstein list. And then Pam Bondi, I don't know what happened with her as well. But Pam Bondi was asked about insurrection, if Trump will invoke it. I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you guys share. Here we go.
I do have a 9 o'clock meeting, guys. Attorney General, we've heard the president use the word insurrectionist repeatedly. What is his bar for invoking the Insurrection Act? And can you describe the conversations around that particular topic that have been underway?
Well, sure. Right now, it's keeping California safe. If Gavin Newsom isn't going to keep California safe, we are. You know, they imposed a curfew last night. I think that helped a bit. But today, we wanted them to declare, they didn't declare an economic disaster out there with all of the businesses. Had they done that, Kelly Loeffler and the Small Business Association could have come in and helped, given federal aid to all of these businesses in California. We've been seeing on the news all of these drugstores getting robbed, getting looted. The Apple store just got raided. I mean, we're all watching this live on the news. And this isn't just looting to me. You think people just run in, take something, leave, and nothing happens? We're using the Hobbs Act. We are charging robbery to protect Californians under this. If you loot a store, we are going to charge you with robbery under the Hobbs Act, and you're looking at maximum 20 years in prison. But we're going to prosecute you for that. Identifying people now, it's a different world. The guy with the cinder blocks, we were able to identify him. Great FBI work, DEA, ATF, all working together with ICE, with Homeland Security. Great partnership out there. And our National Guard, to wrap back to your question, our National Guard, our Marines, they have come in to protect our buildings, the Marines have come in to protect the National Guard. It is total chaos out there. We're all watching it on the news. And, you know, they're throwing bricks. We had a law enforcement officer injured. They're throwing bricks at cars, and this is very orchestrated. They're not just cinder bricks. They had hammers in place. They're breaking them up. We've all seen on the news where the sidewalks, they're coming in with these huge sledgehammers, breaking up the sidewalks and taking these huge pieces of concrete, throwing them off a bridge, throwing them at people. It's truly a miracle that no one has been seriously injured or killed yet. But we're going to do everything within our legal authority to protect our law enforcement officers and all the people in California right now. You know, you guys, this is serious out there. We want to protect people. We want to protect law enforcement and all the hard-working people there who are trying to go to work every day. Their businesses are shuttered. They can't do anything because of this, and it has to stop.
Let's ask that again. What is the threshold for invoking the Insurrection Act? And beyond California,
sure.
Are you seeing examples in other cities where the president might have to consider?
Sure. Well, first, in other cities, we've seen it in New York, but what happened in New York was very different. NYPD came in right away. NYPD came in and shut it down. We all believe in peaceful protests. You saw New York. There were peaceful protests happening in New York. Much different situation. So law enforcement, they need to have their hands untied where they can do their jobs. Right now in California, what we're doing is working by bringing in the National Guard, by bringing in the Marines right now to back them up, to protect our federal buildings, to protect the highways, to protect the citizens. So right now in California, we're at a good point. We're not scared to go further. We're not frightened to do something else if we need to. Right now we're trying to. Well, right now we're hoping it's going to get under control. We hope the curfew will work, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to keep California safe if the government of California is not going to help them. One more question.
Wow. So there you go. AG Pam Bondi. All right. She's hoping that California will be able to, get it under control. Hopefully it will die down. She was asked about the insurrection. What do you think about Pam Bondi? What she's saying here, and do you also believe that Trump has grounds to call for the Insurrection Act based upon what's going on here at the riots there in LA there?
Yes, he does, and he should. Now, not only that, let me go into some. I'm gonna do a video on this tomorrow, Jermain, but I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna tell people what it is. President Trump should have FEMA deny California any money for the repairs of burn for the city and for that country. He should deny them FEMA. And if Gavin Newsom holds taxes and they try to pass that, that is literally an insurrection. You don't have to. The FEMA, only thing he can say is the answer is no. Don't back up the insurance. Force their hand. They always want to force their hand. Pam Bondi should be saying right now, looking at their rhetoric, they caused this, and make an example out of somebody in that area and charge them with inciting a riot. They should have been did lethal force back anyway, because when you did lethal force, it would have stopped this in the tracks. Because people would have saw you're not going to throw urine, you're not going to throw Molotov cocktails. You're throwing Molotov cocktails, and they're saying, well, they're being instigated. They're being, President Trump is instigating this.
Yeah,
go slap your wife.
Go slap your wife.
Go slap your wife and go tell that to the judge she instigated. What the judge gonna do for you? He gonna lock your black hind paw up.
Yep.
Think about it. When people see him say they saying President Trump instigated this, all right, use that defense against your spouse. Come on, man. What happens if you say, I told her, she just kept going at me?
She kept going, and I gave her a slit out.
I told her to cook the grits and she didn't cook. So she told me to cook my daggone self. So she just incensed me, and I gave her a little slap time.
Gave her a little slap. Yeah. I believe that he has every right to call the Insurrection Act based upon what's going on in L.A. You can't get around it. He should, in a sense. The liberal left shouldn't speak about insurrection when they talk about January 6th. They shouldn't speak about any of that jazz at all.
It's no way even close.
It's not even close. With the type of destruction that is happening, and also folks that have been arrested for attempted murder, and there's some people who have even lost their lives in this ordeal that's been going on. People being beat up. I mean, tons of businesses destroyed. I mean, this is a real deal. And then on top of everything, we have paid protesters that are over there who are actually inciting more violence. And you don't see people like Gavin Newsom talking about this. He's not talking about the paid folks that are out there doing this type of destruction. He's not. He's out there trying to push a political point and trying to make Donald Trump the bad guy. That's their whole mission with this, is to make Donald Trump look like the bad guy, instead of them to understand, hey, this is because of folks who are breaking our laws. We need to start pointing out folks who are, helping criminals, in a sense. The liberal left, they're helping out criminals. They're helping out people who are breaking our laws. And I think that Donald Trump, in a sense, need to arrest folks who are promoting this type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? Shouldn't it be illegal, Jamal, for you to be promoting stuff like this? Promoting, illegal immigration, folks, for them to hide and to showing support for this type of stuff.
Yes, it is. It actually is, because what you're doing is inciting a riot, and you going with insurrectionists. But I got a question, Jermain. I got to ask you this: how come the same people who told us we had to follow the COVID rules, follow the rules when it comes to wearing masks, have to obey the law, have to obey what the 6 feet rule, are now all of a sudden hate the law being enforced when it comes to illegal immigration? See a little hypocrisy there? I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. The hypocrisy is quite stunning. Absolutely. They were saying, just follow the government, this, that, and the third. And now they're not trying to do that. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like they're picking and choosing, what to follow based upon their emotion. That's it. It's not based upon facts. It's not based upon logic. It's based upon emotion. And that's evil. It is. And that's what's hurting our society, in a sense.
Yes, it is.
Remember I told you, ladies and gentlemen, thinking through emotion versus thinking through logic. The liberal left loves niggas because they think through emotion. They think like they mama. They're easy to be controlled. That's why they love folks thinking through the emotion. That's why they talk about their feelings constantly, and they don't speak about things in a real fashion, in a sense, in a real world fashion. They just don't do that. It's quite bizarre, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and move forward here. We got just a little bit of more time here before the clock runs out here, brother. I want to go ahead here and speak to you about Trump and his relationship with Elon Musk. Trump is saying it is gosh darn over. I want to go ahead and address this. Let me go ahead and run this clip. When I come back, we shall discuss it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Here we go.
All right. When it comes to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, it looks like their relationship has ended. President Trump talked to ABC, and he said President Trump on Saturday said there would be serious consequences if tech mogul Elon Musk funds Democratic candidates to run against Republicans who vote in favor of the GOP's sweeping budget bill. Asked if he thought his relationship with the Tesla and SpaceX CEO was over, Trump said, I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, there's also a story about what really happened when when Scott Bessent and he clashed over who would run the IRS, and also about Doge and what they were doing at Treasury. And when they left the office, the story is that Musk tried to ram him like a rugby player as he was in the hall, and then Bessent hit him back, and Trump evidently said, this has got to stop. So there was definitely a scrum and yelling in the hall. I didn't know there was physical confrontation. Here's what Caroline Levitt said.
I certainly wouldn't describe it as a fist fight, Maria. It was definitely a disagreement. Although I was not there, I didn't witness it with my own eyes. I heard about it through secondhand reporting. But again, we've moved on from that. The president has moved on from it. And the entire administration is focusing on passing this bill. But also, Maria, cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from our government remains a critical component of this administration's agenda.
In my view, the thing that did it was not the criticism of the bill, which is not helpful, but the president overcome that. When he said the Epstein thing and when he said the president should be impeached. Are you crazy? This is an hour after you got the key to the Oval Office, after he stood up to you with the controversial things you did. I know about the $280 million. No one begged you to do it. And Trump won elections without being wildly outraised. $1 billion didn't get Kamala Harris over the finish line, and $288 million didn't get President Trump the victory. It definitely helped. He's definitely an asset. I'm in awe of his intellect. But when he got personal like that, why would you expect Trump to say, okay, just tell him to call me and we'll forget it?
Well, the president is still furious about the whole situation. He has every right to be. But as I said last week on the couch, I believe that Elon Musk is going to come around. And you already saw it yesterday. He was retweeting the president when it came to California. He was retweeting the administration, Marco Rubio, as well as J.D. Vance yesterday about the response to what's happening in Los Angeles. And I think it goes all back to my original point. There's nowhere else to go, Elon. Either you're going to be with the party of crazy, which you just saw our first story of letting their city be on fire, or you're going to try to make this party better. There's a legitimate criticism when it comes to big, beautiful bill, but you just can't shut down the entire bill as a result.
We were all talking over the weekend, like, what do you think happened? What made him just flip his switch?
Well, they say Sergio Gore had a lot to do with it.
Do you think, though, I mean, he was on Joe Rogan's show smoking marijuana. Do you think he was microdosing? Do you think he was in a different place?
I don't want to project that, but I will say he's up with the thing that can put him over the top is when Sergio Gore, who's head of personnel, said this NASA guy, Mr. President, has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democratic causes, only gave you money after you won. He's going to have trouble getting through confirmation. And when they pulled the NASA guy out, who directly affects his business, and they need to work together, he said that was the last straw. Evidently, Sergio Gore and Elon Musk had this huge rivalry because he was dressed down. Musk dressed him down in front of people. He says, you're hiring people way too slow. Your vetting process is way too strict. You got to get people staffed. So that confrontation led to that confrontation, and that put him over the top.
Wow, and I'm going to stop it right here. So there you go. Elon Musk, Donald Trump. It's over. It's over. That relationship is gone, brother. It's absolutely gone. What do you think about it? After the public spat, the Epstein list stuff, and then, all the other stuff that he was saying, Donald Trump, said, you're gone. What do you think?
Donald Trump can forgive his enemies who turn friends than friends who turn enemies.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump, I'm sorry, and I like Elon. I'm telling you, I'm still a big fan of Doge. I'm still a fan of what Elon did in trying to get some free speech on Twitter, which he's done an excellent job. But, still, Twitter's not a space of free speech like that. But when he came after Donald Trump like that, I said it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is not going to. He knew what Donald Trump went through. He knew the rumors and all the stuff that came at Donald Trump with. And he sat right there and pushed it. Donald Trump cannot forgive those who he considered his friend and wronged them. Donald Trump loved it when someone who was his enemy say he's a friend. And Donald Trump had won that person over.
Yep.
He's not winning over. He's not going to put the effort into winning over Elon. And that goes to show you Donald Trump don't care if you're the richest man in the world.
Yep.
America come first.
Absolutely. And it also shows, Jamal, that the brother can't be bought. You get what I'm saying?
Nope.
He cannot be bought, ladies and gentlemen. That's real nice. You know what I'm saying? When you're an enemy before a friend, you know where that person stands. You get what I'm saying? You have a clear indication of where the lines are drawn. But when there are friend before enemy, the person could be a snake.
Yep.
And when they turn an enemy, they turn to a nasty enemy. A very nasty one, let me tell you. So, in this sense, Donald Trump got rid of him. And when you're doing stuff like that too, let's be honest. Elon Musk acted like a girl. You go ahead and you start putting stuff out like that on social media. That's what girls do. What's wrong with him? You start doing stuff like that, girl stuff like this. Ain't no guy gonna trust ya. One thing guys look for in friends, we don't look at stuff like that in friends. You doing stuff like that, we look at you like a snitch. We don't want that around. We don't. So if you're a guy out there and you like doing stuff like that, you ain't gonna have many guy friends. You're just not. Guys don't like stuff like that.
No, you're not.
And this is that type of stuff there is the reason why females don't have a lot of friends either. Ain't that right, females?
They can't stand be around each other.
Yeah, because girls do stuff like that. If he didn't like Donald Trump and you're a man, men would.
You tell him.
Yeah, we go and tell you straight to your face. We ain't gonna sit there online and put all this other stuff. Like we some chicks and then later on we make up. That ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Not with Donald Trump.
Soon as you do that, we see the B.I. itching ya. That's it. That is it. Look at him running his mouth like that. And then you notice that if we go and tell you something, we know that you're gonna snitch on us too as well. If we go and tell you something that, that is personal or in confidence, we know that we can't trust you because of what you did. So, it is, it's a crazy world. And let me tell you something, you have to have a good morals and a good heart to deal with it. Brother, that is our show for tonight. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us, and giving us the good word. Any last words for our beautiful crowd?
Everybody, as you see, ain't nothing stopping this. And if you didn't like the show, like it. If you didn't share it. If you say, well, you know what, I don't want to bother y'all, I only got $5, well, guess what? Jermain gonna give you a clap. I'm gonna give you a clap, but that's $5 more we didn't have. Nothing you do is too small. Everything you do for us is greatly appreciated. Everything you do is greatly appreciated. So to everybody, I'm glad y'all came out for the Double Barrel Jays. Please forgive me. Like I said, my internet's down and I'm really going off my camera.
Absolutely.
My cell phone.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for coming out and hanging out with us. The studio here, it's going to be moving. I got another place for it that's going to be really nice. So probably in the next couple weeks, you guys will see a change in the studio here. So that should be real nice. Give me a little bit more room to move my lips. Yeah, you know how black folk, we got some big lips. You know what I'm saying? I got some soup coolers, as they would say, you know. Lips so big you could tap dance on them, let me tell you. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, hitting that like button, and sharing as well. I'll be home for a few days now, so I'll be putting out some clips and some videos of us as well. So be on the lookout for that as well. And that's pretty much it. So you guys take care. You guys have a fantastic night. And we'll catch you guys later here for another edition of Conservative Nation Double Barrel Jays Wednesdays. You guys take care. Love you.
Holla.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Oh man, it's the chronic. Don't even worry about it.